That looks like we are rolling. What is up, guys? It's Thomas here, back with another video, but with a very special guest. I give you Mr. Hutch.
Hello, everybody.
Hey. So this is going to be a video for the Polychrome channel. If you're not familiar with Hutch, he's from the band McLaughlin and Hutch. And Hutch just so happens to be an amazing guitarist. What more could we ask for here on a new Lumos video? So I'm doing this live. Hutch is obviously going to be playing live. I have other camera angles which I've just put in, like the GoPro with screen share. So expect some silly button presses and some mistakes, but we'll try and get this as good as possible in a live one-take scenario.
Let's do it.
Do you make mistakes when you play Hutch?
All the time.
All the time. I thought he was going to say never, never. All right, so we're going to dive in and use Lumos on the default preset. Now you are fancying a lead tone tonight.
A lead tone, but it could be something that's that I would like to use for live on live streams. So maybe it could do, like, you know, heavy chords as well.
Oh, so a little bit of a tactile
We'll have
sound.
both, yeah.
Ah, I like it. I like it. Yeah, these are surprise details, and I like it. So let's start off with the default tone, and let's see between rhythm and lead, without getting into the speakers and drive pedals and speaker shaping and stuff like that. Let's just see if we can get that feel that you're looking for first. Idea like lead is like straight away more in the vicinity, but I'm interested in see if we can get like rhythm boosted a little bit and tightened up with the drive pedal on the modern position, maybe even push some more mids in and just see how that goes. I'm going to try the tight switch with the drives just to see when you're playing those lower chords, especially on the neck pickup. See if we get that on the rhythm tone. So let's jump over to the lead amp and just see if that really is a better suit for the leads and the rhythm.
I really like the way the pick's responding to these sounds. There's no like really awkward chirpiness.
Yeah, so you like that slightly smoother top end?
Yeah, it's just straight out the box. It's like really smooth, but dynamic.
Smooth and dynamic, okay. I mean, that actually sounds really, really good straight away for the type of thing that you're thinking about. For the speakers, you let me know what you think, but I think it's maybe a toss-up between lead 1 and rhythm 4. So just try a couple of chokes on your position. That one we're getting a little bit more pick attack on rhythm 4.
It's a hard tone to dial in this because I'm asking you to do chords, picking, and legato.
Yeah.
And it's all got to take it, and it's...
Yeah, I like the idea because in live streams, you know, we'll go back and forwards, we'll bounce off each other in terms of I'll do some chugs, and then you'll do leads, and then sometimes a song that's like 3 minutes long, we might extend it by another 4 or 5 minutes because we do these big chords and go off on these solos, and we just use the same tone a lot for those. Yeah. Yeah.
And even stuff like rolling the gain off with the volume on the guitar. You see.
Yeah. Okay, so in this instance, we should set the gate. This is a tip that I would recommend for a lot of guitarists in general. Set the gate for your position with the volume pot rolled off entirely. Don't set the gate for you just holding your guitar strings, because that's such an unlikely scenario. You're not going to sit there and just hold your guitar with the volume pot on full.
Yeah.
Set it for, like, you know, when you've actually went...
Switch it off.
Yeah. So right now...
Good tip, that.
Yeah, because now that we've got the real world gate set up, it means that you can roll back and play really gently. And it's not going to chop your notes off.
That's magic.
So what we could do is we could really bring that gate down to a very small amount, and then you could probably even now get like a split out of your single coils and really get low and try that. And then if you as we get into like lower volume stuff, it might get you by for a nice little low gain sound. Beautiful. So let's just refine the speaker a little bit. Is there any, if you go full shred, all your sounds, I'll see if there's any frequencies. I don't think it needs a lot on this one, but yeah, I'm just trying to bring out a tad. Oh, sorry, I should have went on this one. This one. I should have went a tad more. Sorry, I did go a little bit more on the top end to bring just a little bit of your pick attack, and let's hear some chugs and see if we can. Do you like it really, really tight, like with a room, or do you like a little bit of room ambience?
Normally, by default, I'll put a bit of room ambience on, regardless of what I'm doing with the effects. I think like the good thing about the room ambience is it does add a little bit of subtle wideness to things. Yeah, that's true. In the background, so I quite like that. Okay, so let's just find the magic amount of room that you like. Alright, so let's just see if we want to have the distortion and less gain from the amp. Now the lead channel has a lot of gain, so that's not even boosted. So if we boosted with a low amount of gain, you'd actually get a totally different response from the tubes. You get a slightly brighter sound in a lot of cases. So let's see if we want to have... You hear that straight away, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's cool. So what I did earlier was I brightened the tone up a little bit, but actually there's a couple of different paths to getting that pick attack. We could use the boost with a lower amount of gain on the amp, or we could go back to our original approach where we're boosting a little bit of treble and more gain. So let's quickly A/B what feels best for you. Boosted with less gain on the amp, but the circuitry boosted, or the other way around. So here is tone 1. Okay, so all the shred, and I'm going to quickly drive that back down, turn the boost up, and take some brightness out, and then just see how that feels. A little bit different. I think for me personally, I'm going to tell you which one I preferred. I think the first one was more an all-around Hutch type of sound.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, definitely.
It just, yeah. But it's interesting that you could get to 2 different tones just with those small adjustments. Yeah. So don't skimp on the boost, because what you could do is like, okay, I like boost, but then you could think, okay, maybe that will work with a different speaker, maybe a darker speaker, and then you could introduce an overdrive pedal, maybe on the vintage mode to counteract that brightness,
yeah.
And then suddenly we've got like a totally different tone again. But let's stick with the V1 where you had a bit more gain from the front end. Okay, now I'm gonna, for now, turn the gate up, and there's 2 things we're gonna check. One is, do we need to use the drive pedal at all with a lower gain? So this time, instead of using the boost, do we use the drive pedal?
Yeah, so I'm wondering if the drive pedal would be good just to smooth the sound a little bit.
Let's see. Give you my take on smoothing the sort of attack, if you like. A lot of guitarists, they have by default the approach of less gain, more output, because it's kind of like a classic thing that you would do with like tube screamers. But if you have a little bit less volume and more gain, so your guitar's essentially getting saturated and compressed before it hits the amp, you get more of that spongy, smooth type of lead tone. So maybe with you having such a smooth legato type of style, that might work. Okay, now just try a couple of chugs and see if that happens. I want to give you a little bit of, I think for me that works really, really well. The only thing, because we've added that saturation on at the front, how much can you now clean it up? Because we've got gain on the amp and gain on the pedal, so that would be something to factor in. So let's just do a little back off on the clean. See how far you can go. Versus more of the amp, bear in mind your gate would be really, really low, have a little play with that.
That's nice, isn't it? Nice and responsive on those picking dynamics.
Yeah, so I would say it really depends on how clean you would like to go in terms of like the lowest end. If you're not likely to go that clean, and bear in mind on live streams we sometimes switch to another preset.
Yeah.
Will that get you by instead?
Clean, I would go to another preset. For that fusiony sort of crunch, I'll try and get out of this one sound.
Okay, so do you think maybe...
Out there, that's probably the setting there.
Just like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's without the drive pedal on.
Let's try with the drive pedal and get So that feels good there with the drive. Let's try.
Yeah, so with the drive pedal on, maybe. And do you want a little bit more top end gain, as in like maximum gain?
Let's try it.
So let's boost it all a little bit, just at a time. We'll do the gate last.
So we get a nice bit of variation there.
So very low gain.
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing I've said before was giving you a little bit of a safety net for like chugging. Maybe on the neck position, you're like, you want to start like hitting riffs. What we could do is put the shape EQ on the pre mode and just take some of the real low frequency sounds. That'll just make it chug just that little bit easier, and that's only a small amount, just like 1 dB on 125, but it just removes the low frequencies from the very front end of the signal. And if we wanted to do that even more, we could use the tight switch, but I really like to use the shape EQ in the pre-position for those purposes. And if you really like to use like the splits, for example, and you start playing funky with just like a very small amount of gain, you could bring some of that treble out as well on the front end.
Yeah. I like that bit of air it's giving it.
Yeah. Because it's doing it before it hits the amp, it's reacting in a different way as opposed to like the mastering EQ or the shape EQ in the post position. So I think if you're likely to use splits, which I love using splits.
Yeah, I really like them now.
Yeah, it kind of emphasizes that a little bit. So we've got a nice balance of like the tones able to chug, you're able to crank it up and get your legato leads going. And I think finally we just really got to think about, where do we want the sound to sit in 3D? Do we want it like really, really wide with wide? Or do we want it just more traditional like and have it in the sort of center?
So I like movement on the left and right.
Okay, so let's get the delay on with a bit of pong. Maybe some ducking.
I like the delays to be going off into the distance. So like, you know, sort of tape delay sort of sound I really like.
Okay. little bit less feedback. I think that sort of filtered, heavily filtered tape stereo effect is kind of like, yeah, it's working really well with this tone. But we'll dial in the mix in a little bit. But I'm interested to see if you like the spring verb that's in Lumos, or do you like more of the digital, or should we use a little bit of both?
All right, let's try it. We'll
try it.
Let's have a listen to the spring.
Now if we jump over to, say, space on the right. Regardless, it sounded pretty tasty. Do you want to try a little bit of both?
Yeah, let's try a blend.
And I'll take the spring reverb and I'll shorten it to like the medium, and I'll filter the space reverb. So they have the spring like doing a shorter sort of bigger frequency, but the longer tails will be from space.
Yeah, so the space one, that filter there, it's a darker reverb than the spring one.
Yeah.
So we're also filling out the top end.
Yeah, yeah.
Could we hear it without the delay, just so we can just hear what the reverb's doing?
Just put the filter on full, so it's a bit darker again and a bit less bottom end on it. But I'm going to use less reverb, and I'm going to increase the time from the 4 seconds that we had it roughly before to just over 5. I'm going to try one last thing. I think the longer settings with the less mix is working, but one thing I like to do, and I don't do it all the time, is to incorporate a little bit of final compression. So it kind of squashes the reverb tails a little bit, kind of makes it explode a bit. But what it means is you can have less mix of the reverb, because afterwards it all kind of gets compressed.
Right.
Yeah? So let's try a little bit of compression, but with less mix. See how that feels.
So that's cool, because yes, I like that the guitar's drier and up front.
That's right. So
that's really good, because like one of the problems when you're using a lot of reverb on guitars is your guitar gets it's like it's lying down, but with this it's sitting up.
Yeah, it stops it from being lost. And I think that's a good thing. So I've put the delay back on and the spring with that little bit of compression, and let's just hear a couple of riffs and leads. Yeah, I think just a little bit more ducking on the delay, drop that down just a tad. And bear in mind it's very dry right now in terms of there's no backing music, so if we had like a beat, I'm sure I have a beat here somewhere, just for you to randomly. It kind of all sits nicely. I like that. Is there any tweaks that you want to make? Because I think we should save this as a preset.
Absolutely.
And include it in the final release.
Yeah. I think it sounds pretty good. I like it, yeah.
Do you want to add any spread or wide, or do you like that? I mean,
I really like the wide.
We could always have two versions. So, like, what we could do is maybe tighten it a little bit just for like the mono guitar tone with the delays and reverbs, and then maybe bring the wide in with maybe less gate, a little bit more reverb, so that could be like the AB version.
Right, let's try that.
Yeah. So this version, we're going to basically jump back in here. This one here will have no wide, no spread. But when we go to the wide version, we'll have wide, say, I wouldn't put wide and spread together. I would choose one or the other, like dial in a little bit, because they do similar jobs, but in a really different way. But I would say, like, instead of 13, 17, 18%, because this could be like your main epic solo type of thing now. And maybe this one will boost the gain just a little bit as well. Try that.
Very nice.
Yeah, and I think what we'd probably do as well is just pull some of the ducking out, and just so you get a little bit more movement as well. And then that way we'd have like, oh, we're just getting one side. That was the ear shot, folks. That way, you know, we have like the epic moment, a little bit more gain, more delay, reverb, and then the main sound that you could bounce back and forwards with me is like, it's not overly wide, but it's got that movement from the whole thing. So big decision now, Hutch.
Excellent.
What is gonna be the name?
What is going to be the name?
What are we going to name it? What? 2 presets. We should give it a name relating to like
Hot Room.
Hot Room. That'll
Pass
work.
Out.
Hot Room Pass Out.
Yeah.
Hutch Pass Out.
Hutch Pass Out.
Pass Out 1. Pass Out. Hutch Pass Out 1. No. Hutch Pass Out and Hutch Pass Out Wide.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Or Hutch Pass Out Epic.
Even better.
Hutch Epic Pass Out. Hutch Pass Out and Hutch Epic Pass Out.
Whichever's the most epic.
There we go, guys. So we will save these presets that we made today for you to load. It'll be in Hutch's very own folder. How awesome is that?
Amazing.
There we go. So don't forget to get subscribed for more videos like this. And if you haven't already checked out Lumos, it'll be available for you to take the demo. Try it out at your own convenience. Try the tones, see how it feels, and enjoy. And I'll see you back here real soon. Hey, Hutch, any final words before I shut the cameras off?
Yeah, I've got to say that I really like the Lumos. It's my favourite.
Oh,
favourite one.
A new favourite.
It's absolutely, yeah.
Well, that is great. Yeah, I love playing Lumos as well. It's just got the feel and bags of personality, and it's very easy to push it into really interesting new directions from like guitar tones. It's been really fun, like making presets for it.
Yeah, it's got me exploring. There's a lot going on under the hood to find.
Absolutely, and I really like, even though we're on like gain sounds here, I really like duo shift on big heavy chords. It just makes it sound like this huge wall of sound. But I'm sure we'll get into that on other videos in the very near future. So there we go, guys. On that bombshell, Hutch's new favorite. All right, take care. Cheers, guys. Bye.